Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company at Watches and Wonders 2026, and we have one of the big unveils. We're here with Tudor and Christophe, who is the head of public relations. Christophe, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for coming.
Let's talk about a watch that's pretty much on everyone's mind right now, the Tudor Monarch. Now, it's no surprise that this has been a popular genre recently. Tell me, what did Tudor do new that it brought to the integrated bracelet sports category?
So pretty much everything you see in this watch is new. The name is a name that we used before, okay, but it was sort of stopped for a while, used again from 2026. The case is new. It's something that we took the idea from our early watches from the 20s, 30s, 40s. The dial that we call papyrus toned or papyrus is a dial that combines Roman hour markers, Arabic hour markers. Internally, we call that error-proof. That was a patent that we registered in the 40s. And that dial is something that we've not been doing at all since the early 2000s. So another moment of the history. Talking about the dial, you see that the hands are snowflake-inspired. Snowflake is the shape that is really signature for Tudor with diving watches. So you can find plenty different things on this watch that are part of really a century worth of existence at Tudor. But the face of the watch is not really where the magic happens, I would say, because the back is open in this case. And this is not a very...
It's maybe not expected from Tudor to pay this much attention to the case back of a watch.
Correct. It's rare to have an open case back at Tudor, and it's even rarer to not use the, I would say, very utilitarian finishing that we usually apply, and that is mainly sandblasted surfaces with laser engraving. Here we have what we call, traditional finishing, Côte de Genève, perlage, and some detail in gilt. So makes for a different Tudor manufacturer caliber look.
And it's definitely a different kind of watch. Now, if you think of some of the Monarchs of the past, like the 15733 or the 33100, they did have sort of oblong, tonneau-like profiles. And while this watch isn't an homage specifically to the look of those, the idea of having a case that's something other than round really feeds this concept. It's heavily faceted, and I can tell you, in the hand, it's extremely solid, and it's got almost blade-like facets where we alternate between curves and creases, polish and satin. It feels like a really crisply pressed suit when you see it in person. Then you've got the dial, which features that vertical satination, and you can see it's got the California style, or the error-proof as they call it. It's got hands inspired by the snowflake, and then it's got the Arabic and the Roman numerals, which are built up above the dial. They have a height above the dial, giving it several dimensions. You have the hands, then down to the numerals and indices, then down to the dial, and finally a socketed sub-seconds with an azurage effect. When you go to the bracelet, you can see it's got the T-fit, so it's got the 8 millimeters of adjustment in there in incremental steps. And then out back, this is a new caliber with bespoke decoration, and it's called the MT 56622U. Now this is, I believe, a 62-hour power reserve, 65-hour power reserve?
Correct.
And so it's also a master chronometer, which means in addition to anti-magnetism, durability, water resistance, the chronometry is going to be -0 +5 as a timing tolerance. Now this watch is also value-oriented, whereas a lot of the watches in this segment cost tens of thousands of dollars. We're looking at around $5,875 approximately for this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 5-year warranty?
Absolutely.
And what is availability going to look like?
So on Monarch, the first watches hit the store the second day of Watches and Wonders. We know that some collectors bought it already at the boutique in Geneva. The availability starts now, and we will have deliveries going from now. It is not a limited edition, so this is something that's going to be offered in the collection. So some watches are available now, and more will be in a very close future.
Yeah, so you've got that master chronometer caliber, you've got a remarkably compact case. Just keep this in mind. Yes, 39 millimeters, but this is what you need to know. It has pivoted end links, and at lug to lug, this is 46.2 millimeters. This is a very compact watch. I guess another question, since a lot of watches in this segment kind of talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, you can't swim with many in this segment. What's the water resistance on this?
We have 100 meters.
A true swimmable watch, a screw-down crown. So that is the Monarch. That is the big piece for Tudor at Watches and Wonders 2026, but we're not done because we have the first ever full ceramic black bay. Now, we've seen ceramic black bays before. What's changed?
Correct. The first generation black base ceramic was also the first Tudor watch to ever achieve a Master Chronometer certificate. This one comes new as far as the bracelet is concerned. The ceramic bracelet is something that we'd never done before. Something we developed a new type of clasp for. The double deploying clasp that we have is something that we've never done before. So matching these bracelets so as to see ceramic all around the wrist when you do wrist roll. And ceramic is just like the previous generation to be found on the case and bezel insert, as well as that's it.
Now, what's interesting to me is, even though ceramic's generally a very light material, if you've ever held a royal oak white ceramic or black ceramic, it feels almost toy-like. This does not feel toy-like. This has a resounding heft to it. There's something about this watch that almost feels the equal in terms of mass of the metal. So if you don't like the toy-like watch feel, don't worry about this. This has got the murdered look, but it doesn't have the helium hand feel. So a really cool watch, and definitely the one to own if you hate scratches. Now, it's going to be a higher price point for Tudor, but it's still well under $10,000. What's pricing looking like for this? Just over $7,000?
Yeah, exactly, $7,750. For this one configuration only new model.
And also the clasp is an interesting piece too, since it's a twin trigger release and then it's got ball bearing pin snaps. So there's a lot to love. This really sneaks up on you. And again, the one thing that struck me is in the hand, how substantial it feels, because that is anything but universal when you're talking about ceramic watches. You're still getting a master chronometer. It's still, I believe it's a 70-hour power reserve on this one, correct? And a 200-meter diving depth. So the ceramic case doesn't affect the diving depth in any way.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So now let's talk about a new version of the Black Bay 54. Now we got the 54 in 2023, and if the 58 was smaller, this is pretty much smallest at 37 millimeters. Tell me about what's new for the 54 this year.
So the most visible feature of this watch, it's a sapphire blue hood, dial, and bezel. This is the main novelty here, or the only novelty here, as this configuration existed already in a black version. So it's a 37 millimeter diameter Black Bay that comes in a new color configuration with another more subtle novelty, and that is the print on the dial. You can see that the Tudor logo and the literature at 6 o'clock are printed in light blue for a subtle effect once again.
It's almost got a very subtle cyan printing, and it really works as a nice complementary color and tone to these watches. So again, not an all-new watch, but an all-new colorway for this model. We're going to talk now about two other watches that are sort of variations on a theme before we talk about all-new bracelets. Very familiar watches. There's one big change, however, for the Black Bay 58s in black.
Master Chronometer certification.
That is absolutely the case, as well as a little bit of a refinement. I hear they're slightly thinner this year.
Correct. Slightly thinner, redesigned crown and bezel, something very similar to what you've discovered last year with the Black Bay Burgundy, and multiple configuration as well. So 5-link bracelet, 3-link bracelet, and rubber strap, all on TV clasps.
And now what's interesting too is I've measured these in the past, about 12.1 millimeters thick, and I think you're registering 11.9 for the new version of the watch.
Yep.
So now Master Chronometers, much more elite chronometer certification, fully assembled watch, tighter timing tolerances, anti-magnetism. You're also getting a thinner Black Bay 58. So now we're going to talk about two Black Bay 58s that are going to be familiar, but this is an unfamiliar form of them. Okay, Black Bay 58, Black Bay 58 GMT, all new shoes.
Correct. 5-link bracelet. I was mentioning it before. So this is a little bit more shiny bracelet, coming with our beloved T-fit clasp and an extra configuration. Didn't exist with the GMT before. Comes as part of the Master Chronometer certification package on the Black Bay 58. So something that you see more and more with Black Bays in the Tudor collection.
So if you really wanted a 5-link style bracelet, and we know the most famous one, we don't have to mention it, this is actually very similar to that. And again, you're going to get, if you look at back, you're still going to get the T-fit system. So this is bracelet agnostic. You get a 3-link, you get the 5-link. Either way, you're going to get the T-fit. So don't make that the decision point. Go with whether you want something a little bit more, maybe you could say elegant.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the word for what we have here. All right, now we're going to take a journey into the world of something approaching dress watches for Tudor. We're going to talk about the Royal. Now, the Royal, of course, has been a traditional center of value, even by Tudor standards. The watches have been among the most accessible, and I think we need to emphasize that there's a big difference between the Monarch at 39 millimeters with an integrated bracelet and the Royal with day and date at 40 millimeters on an integrated bracelet, and that difference is price.
Correct. So the main difference here, and an obvious one, because you have some literature at 6 o'clock once again highlighting it, is the Master Chronometer certification. The Royal is not, but it is, though, equipped with a Tudor manufacturer caliber, which is the big sort of novelty with this, this new Royal. Some other elements are worth noting, like a very sharp notched bezel, which is the signature of the Royal line. We've got the TV clasp as well. That's making its entry into this Royal line in new sizes. We go from 4 sizes to 3 sizes. I think you mentioned them, 40, 36, and 30.
And what used to be the case with the Royal line was that, again, it's a center of value. So you're talking a watch in the $3,000 price range, you used to get an ETA movement. Now it's a Tudor in-house caliber and it's a certified chronometer. So you're getting a lot of features. You're getting a longer power reserve, anti-magnetism. You're getting a more elite movement. It is a more capable watch all around. And it's still admirably water resistant, I believe.
Yeah, 100 meters again for this watch, just like the Monarch.
And so what Christophe was talking about when he mentioned the bezel is that we have this elegant machine-turned type of bezel, and this machine-turned aesthetic is very different from the conical smooth of the Monarch. You can also see the faceting of the cases. It's not quite as nuanced as the Monarch. It's a little bit more tapered, more distinctly a tonneau, and being a 40, it is a larger watch on the wrist. Now, what's important to emphasize is that it's not just the 40 millimeter, it is all of the Royals that are now equipped with the Tudor in-house calibers. And so we have 34 and we have 30. And so this is going to be a 50-hour power reserve. This is still going to be 70.
Correct, absolutely. The 36 millimeter diameter watch is equipped with our mid-size family of movement, MT54, and MT52 small size movement from Tudor at the smaller size of the spectrum.
If you ever fancied yourself a ice blue dial, well, there's a nice air de famille here. This is a gorgeous take with blued hands and indices on a very subtle ice blue sunburst dial. This might be the surprise hit from Tudor's novelties this year, just because I didn't see it coming, and I think in an era of full ceramic black bays and Monarchs, this could get a little bit lost in the shuffle. This is a watch that is, I should mention, for a man as well as a woman. Don't be fooled by the 34. Christophe, why don't you model that?
I'm wearing it, and I'm logging it.
I think this is the Tudor you might not see coming in 2026. Now, there's one more standout that I want to emphasize, because when I see an affordably priced watch with a full diamond bezel, my first thought is, lab-grown. Not the case.
Not the case.
Also, you may have noticed that the 30 millimeter that I have right here is a no-date, and in every instance it's a very clean no-date dial, which keeps the watch thin and the dial uncluttered. What really amazes me is, despite having the diamond-paved bezel, you're looking at $5,375 on this with the Tudor caliber. So by all means, expect more, because I was surprised. Right down to the use of the T-fit clasp on this. This is not a lesser Tudor, it's just a smaller Tudor. And Christophe, this was an absolute blast. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Tim.
And from Tudor Watch for 2026, time out.